Catherine has always been a game I've been curious about for years. When it was originally released on Xbox 360 and PS3, I pretty much wrote it off as an anime-inspired puzzle game, nothing more. Now, I wasn't wrong in that assessment, but I kept hearing people hold this game with such high regard, and it didn't help that I kept seeing the cover of the game almost everywhere I went. I also heard it had a pretty vibrant competitive scene for the game, but I never got around to playing it. So fast forward to 2019. Atlus released an enhanced port of the game called Catherine Full Body. This port was the definitive version of the cult classic. It adds more puzzles, more story elements, and introduced a new character who was not in the original release. Think of this as the final mixed version for those who are Kingdom Hearts fans. As of this recording, Full Body is only available on PS4, with the Switch port coming later this year. Well, let's see if this game is worth playing. So, I went into Catherine not knowing what to expect, but I kept an open mind to see what the game had to offer. In terms of the story, we follow this guy named Vincent, who is just a guy out in the world trying to get his life together and taking it one day at a time. Vincent is in this long-term relationship with this woman named Catherine with a K. She's thinking about marriage, and Vincent, well, he's just confused. One night, Vincent was drinking at his favorite bar called the Stray Sheep, goes home and wakes up to this naked woman in his bed, who is also named Catherine with a C. This is how the love triangle begins. So, it is really hard to talk about this without spoiling certain elements of the story. Depending on the decisions you make in the game can alter the outcome of this story, so please play this game for yourself. There's also a new character by the name of Ren, which is also short for Catherine, but this time with a Q. Let's just say this, the inclusion of this character caused some controversy before the game was even released. Personally speaking, I like the conflict that Vincent had with Ren, and it makes for a much more interesting narrative. Again, I won't spoil the story, so go play it. So if I could describe this story, it's like an anime soap opera with supernatural elements. I absolutely loved it. I really wish this game got a standalone anime series. I would totally watch it. I totally related to Vincent and a set of friends. One of my favorite moments was just sitting in with the homies at the Stray Sheep just chatting. It definitely reminded me of me and my friends when we go out to a cool bar and just chat. Love seeing it. In terms of gameplay, this game is a puzzle platformer with very interesting visuals. The game is challenging, but it's super satisfying when you finally figure out how to conquer these puzzles. Vincent has these nightmares which triggers these puzzles, and metaphorically, it makes sense. Each night you'll do 3 to 4 puzzles, with the last one being a boss, which is very scary to look at, but interesting at the same time. These puzzles can definitely cause a little stress, because not only do you have a time limit, but you actually can see the blocks falling from under you. Now, there are items that can help you out during your traversal through these puzzles. My favorites were definitely the drink that allows you to jump over 2 rows, and I also really found the white block power up helpful. That saved me numerous times. Make sure that you use every technique that you learn, because you will need to learn how to use them. The puzzles can vary in difficulty. Each puzzle is challenging in their own way. Some has spike platforms that can instantly kill you, and some has ice blocks that will cause you to slide right off the stage. There are also other sheep who try to block your way or knock you off the puzzle entirely. Thank goodness that this game has an undo option, because you will make mistakes. This game has a little bit of the trial and error element to it. When you're not climbing for your life in nightmares, you're chilling at the Stray Sheep, having drinks, interacting with NPCs, and playing arcade games. One thing I loved about this game was the music. The soundtrack is absolutely amazing. I would literally spend tons of time at the bar just to hear the different tracks from the jukebox. Overall, Catherine is an amazing title that I'm glad I got to experience. The story is engaging with tons of obstacles that Vincent has to go through. The puzzle gameplay can be frustrating at times, but the amount of relief you get when you finally beat a puzzle is unmatched by any game I've played recently. I highly recommend Catherine. If you've never played it before, the Full Body is the definitive experience. Once you're done with the main story, you have different multiplayer modes that you can enjoy, and DLC in form of characters that you can use in battle mode. Buy this game, and thank you all for watching.